gave my son's half-sister birthday gifts, but her father had a problem with it.
What's your problem, man?
I am 32 male, and 8 years ago, from a short fling, I have a son.
What?
My son's mother was a single mother of 2 at the time, and has had 1 more kid after then. My son is 7. By the way, this comes from Street Rub 2034, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, it was a messy ordeal at first, and I was convinced he wasn't my kid, but DNA test.
Uh-oh.
He's like, I was really hoping, but DNA test got me. Yada yada. And it was proved he was my kid. She didn't sue me for child support as she didn't have the funds, but I wasn't going to let my son grow up without money, so we have an agreement. I pay her around $3 to $4K a month. I work sales and get a bonus yearly, so I pay more during the holiday season, and I make mid 100K range, so it's more than what the court would have ordered, but I want to be fair. She has said sometimes she uses my money on her other kids, and that's whatever. All this to say, I think I'm pretty fair. Whenever I go bring a meal to my kid or give him a console, a Switch 2 recently,
Ooh, fancy.
I tell him to share it with his siblings, or I bring them a meal too so they can all eat together. I even gave them all presents for their birthday, so they don't feel left out when I only give presents to my kid. I'm not a holier-than-thou guy, I just want him to have a good relationship with his siblings. And if money and gifts allow that, I'm okay with it. Honestly, props to you, dude.
Yeah, we've definitely read a lot of stories where there is some sort of hierarchy amongst the siblings. So you're doing a great job.
Excellent work. Last thing I want is for his siblings to resent him for favoritism. Once his mom and I are gone, they will be his only family, which is why I treat them well and even let my money being used for his other siblings slide. His sister has a father who tries his best. He tries.
He tries.
I'll call him Mark, 36 male. Recently, he reached out to me and said when I bring gifts for my son, he would prefer it if my son did not share them, and if I could stop giving gifts to his daughter. No. No, that's stupid.
That is stupid.
Are you just not giving gifts to your daughter?
Yeah.
He's like, you're making me look bad because I don't get her anything.
Right, then do better.
So apparently his daughter, 13, is now comparing him to me and is saying that I give her better gifts or whatever and see them more. She apparently says she wishes I was her dad.
Well,
Mark, maybe you gotta step up, bud.
yeah, you can't. The wrong answer is to make the other guy just worse. Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean?
He's like, I want her to have lower expectations.
Yeah.
It's not fair. I told Mark that I'll see what I can do, but now I feel kind of bad. Mark is the only other father who is genuinely trying, from what I can tell, and maybe I set the standards too high? What? What are you talking about, OP?
Yeah.
We should be setting standards high for our children about what their parents are doing for them and how they're showing up.
Right. I think we got to talk to Mark, figure out why
Yeah.
he can't show up as much as you can.
Yeah.
And if it's like a genuine reason of like, oh, I'm so busy, I just don't make enough money, blah, 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 then we can maybe explain that to the daughter.
Exactly, because I think there is a difference between doesn't show up because he's working really hard to provide,
Right.
all this stuff, but also I don't know if that is necessarily true. If
Yeah.
OP's wife or ex-wife,
Yeah.
I don't know, is it wife? Let's refer to the sheet.
Let's refer to the sheet. OP is the father. Son is 7. Son's mother, not mentioned. Mother of OP's son. Okay, so they're just exes.
Okay, well, yeah, so if OP's son's mom is using OP's money to pay for all of the kids,
Yeah.
I would imagine that he's not necessarily contributing that much, Mark. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, if he's the only other father that's genuinely trying, it seems, then let's figure out why we're not meeting OP's standards.
and what do you mean only other father genuinely trying?
Yeah, how many fathers
How many fathers are
there? There is a younger brother, so I'm assuming that is
Is it
from
a different
another
father?
3 kids, 3 fathers.
I am wondering,
One mother.
is she just having a lot of flings? No judgment?
No judgment.
Are they all from different flings?
Let's maybe just see what preventative options can work the best for us.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
My son's mother made the mistake of telling his daughter that I also fund some of their lifestyles since I pay the most in child support. I feel bad about all of this. The girl seemed kind of sweet, so I'm surprised she would say things like this to her dad. She helps my son with his homework and is a good older sister to him. so I feel like I've been treating her as she treats my kid. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't know why my son's mother brought financial information to her kids, and now I don't know what to do about Mark. I don't want to change how I treat my son's siblings because I don't want him to have a bad relationship with him. My parents treated my younger brother better than me, and I have a not so great relationship with him now because of that. And I just don't want the same for my kid. So am I the a-hole for going above and beyond just for the sake of my son being treated better by his siblings at the cost of Mark and his daughter's relationship? And edit, seeing comments about making a trust fund and college stuff for my son. Just wanted to put this out there. I also made a comment explaining he does have a trust and a 529 plan. His mother is not aware of these, but he does have these, and money is going here aside from the money I give her. I was helped through college by my folks, and I plan on doing the same for him. Also, I own the apartment I live in, and he will be receiving it. He is also included in my parents' will as well, with a separate trust they have given him, in which I will be the guarantor until he is 25. And we've got some relevant comments and an update, but any thoughts from you?
I'm sorry, are you the a-hole for going above and beyond for your child?
In what way?
Like,
in what way?
No!
Not at all.
Not at all!
Not only are you providing way more than legally expected from you for your son, but yeah, again, you're going above and beyond for all of the kids.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, also too, this girl's 13 years old.
Yeah.
Prime time for her to be like, my dad sucks.
Yeah, I wish that this guy was my dad. Like, that's just 13-year-old lingo, man.
Right. She's gonna think that probably either way.
Yeah.
And this is just her excuse for that thought process.
Absolutely.
So just let her do that. Keep showing up, Mark, and eventually she'll come around and she'll understand.
Yeah. And also, I don't even think you really, I don't know. Like, yes, Mark has a right to talk to you about his kid, but also maybe he can just like talk to your son's mom.
Yeah.
Maybe that can be the relationship there.
Where is she?
I don't know.
She's clearly the one who's mostly taking care of the kids.
Yeah.
So
seems like it.
Why is she not a part of this conversation?
I don't know. But we've got some comments. Comment 1 says, not the a-hole, but I do think it's insane you're paying her that much in child support. OP says, I made an edit about the 529 and trust comments. He's fine in that aspect. I can afford to pay her this much for now, which is why I'm doing it. I own the place I live in right now, so I don't pay rent, and the income I listed is only for my job. I have other income streams, real estate and ETFs mostly, so I think it'll be fine. Granted, it's nowhere as much as my salary, but I have more than enough to get by. I have more money, it's just not liquid. My son's mother is quite literally unable to hold down a job. I made a mistake having my son with her, but now that my son is here, I can't let that be an excuse when I'm able to afford to give them that much. I love my kid. I do not regret my son at all.
Just so we're clear.
He's like, it was a mistake, but I was a happy accident.
Yeah, the only thing that I regret is having it with this mom.
Yeah. If I let her take me to court, our custody agreement right now is not set in stone, and my son spends some time over the summer and holidays at my house or with my folks. I'm not going to risk anything. I don't complain about his mother to him, ever, but she can be really vindictive if her needs are not met. I reap what I sow, and if putting up with her until my kid is 18 is the best thing for him, I'll do what I need to do. The way I see it is, this is the price I pay for not thinking about the consequences of my actions. And we've got an update 3 weeks later. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I mean, it kind of is.
Yeah.
It's the literal price that you have to pay.
Yeah, $3,000 to $4,000 a month.
Yeah. That's a big number.
I do think that you could go, to court and have a more ironed out visitation child support stuff so she can't hold anything over your head because you said she's pretty vindictive.
Right.
And I think they would, lean in your favor seeing as you pay so much and are so active in their lives. So I would suggest that.
Yeah. And maybe now's your time to start gathering evidence of your contribution.
Yes.
Just in case. And yeah, I would agree. That sounds like the safest route to go.
But we got an update 3 weeks later. Picking up where I left off, as everyone suggested, I had a face-to-face with Mark. I told him that our kids are really gonna only have each other once all of us and their mother passes away. And while I understand where he was coming from, I felt it was unwise. Mark agreed and confessed that he had made that initial call to me in a fit of anger and hurt at his own daughter and their mother. I actually respect Mark a lot. The dude is a former gangbanger turned around and found God recently and opened his own hardware repair store. It's just as with any new business, he was struggling since it had only been 17 or so months since he opened his store. So he scaled back the money he was giving their mother, and she took it out on him by telling his daughter our financial information. That's so messed up.
That's crazy lore from Mark over here.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, so she did that on purpose, despite me. That's tough. He apologized for being out of line and offered to pay for the meal, and I took him up on that. He said he would have a word with his daughter about respect and asked me if I could tell their mother to not divulge finances and put pressure on her. He also said he always appreciated that I treated the kids similarly and asked if I would be okay if he did like mini circuits and other small electronic projects with my kid. Since the last time he visited his daughter and bought her a circuit set, my son seemed to like it. I know jack crap about hardware, and it's probably a good skill to have, so I'm happy someone can teach him. I guess it's his way of returning the gesture. And by the way, you can return the gesture to us by listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. We've got a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
Okay.
Yeah.
I like where Mark is going with this.
Yeah, he owned up
Yep.
for getting mad.
Yep.
He said, "Hey, let me buy you a meal,
Right.
and I wanna have fun times with your kid too."
That's exactly what we wanted from you, Mark.
Good
Thanks,
job,
man.
Mark.
Good job. Yay.
I feel bad for that youngest kid.
Yeah,
Who
where's
seemingly
his
doesn't.
dad?
Yeah, his dad is not here.
Right.
Sucks. And also, this mom doesn't seem great. But
Yeah. I want to know more about her.
yeah.
Because
What's the lore there?
why is she the one with seemingly full custody or most custody of
Yeah.
these kids if we're not hearing about anything she's doing?
I don't know. And she doesn't have a job.
Yeah.
Interesting. But there's a little left. So after that conversation a little over 2 weeks ago, I went to their house, spent the usual time with my son. My son loves Chick-fil-A. Got them all Chick-fil-A. Afterwards, I pulled their mother aside and told her everything, essentially. As usual, anytime I tried to have a conversation with her, it resulted in her yelling and throwing crap at me. She said I did not have a right to dictate what I could and could not tell her daughter, who wasn't even my kid. Well, Mark also doesn't want you telling his daughter, who is his kid, that.
Yeah.
So
I also don't want you to throw things.
please stop. I tried arguing that finances that are related to me should be private out of respect for me, but she didn't budge. Everything with her either blows up into an argument or she tries to offer something else to pacify me. I was really exhausted that day, so nothing came of trying to talk to her. I just told her she shouldn't expect support if she can't respect my boundaries, but she mocked me, saying stuff like, "I know how to get you to pay, don't even try." I reconvened with Mark over the phone, explained what happened, and politely told him I tried my best. He thanked me for trying and said he would have his own talk with her. Sorry it wasn't a happy update. It's so exhausting dealing with her sometimes. I really think that you should go to court.
I agree. This
Yeah.
woman should not be watching your child.
No, she seems pretty bad. And also, I
Yeah.
think Mark should look into getting custody.
Yeah. I think you guys should all go to court. You should all get custody of your children. And then you and Mark be buds. And then
And then
the
you can have play
kids-
dates.
Yeah, you can have
Yeah.
play dates. Like all the time.
Yeah.
And sleepovers, all that kind of stuff.
And then you and Mark fall in love and
Sure.
you move in together.
Yeah.
And then all of your and then you find a way to get that other kid.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see where that other dad's at.
Yeah, and you say, "I want your son." He says, "What? I have a
Sit-
son?"
Yeah. Oh my God. Does he even know?
Maybe not.
I have so many questions.
If they're all flings, maybe not.
Maybe.
But that's the end of that story, folks. And we've got another one coming right up.
Ooh, yeah. My mother kept secret files on everyone we dated, including the sensitive ones. I have been dating my girlfriend for 3 months. A couple of hours ago, I was helping my mom upload a file from her WhatsApp web. When she opened her saved messages, a chat with herself, I saw photos of the front and back of my partner's national ID. In Argentina, we call it the DNI. By the way, this comes from Federici. Sorry. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Angie.
I'm Sophia.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We just know what we would do in these situations. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, In my country, this ID is extremely sensitive.
Yeah. It's also, it's fair.
It contains a person's full name, home address, ID number, and signature.
Okay, so it's slightly even more personal than a driver's license or something. It's more. Well, actually,
I think it might be the same. I think my signature is on my license.
yeah, I'm
If
just
that's what
thinking
you're thinking of.
address.
Oh, yeah, that's on there. I'm pretty sure. That's why you have to cover it.
Oh my god, yeah. Forgot about that. You're right.
There it is.
Okay, so it's a driver's license.
Yeah.
All right.
So just as sensitive.
It's not my right address though.
Oh,
My
well,
parents' address.
it's basically like having a photo of someone's social security card and driver's license all in one.
Ooh. Okay.
So I guess maybe
A little bit more.
Their ID number is
Yeah.
their social security number, basically. When I confronted her, she calmly said, "Oh, it's nothing. I just wanted to know where she lives."
Oh, it's nothing. I just needed to know exactly where she lived.
Yeah,
And also her social security number and her mother's maiden name.
right. Also, I'm assuming it just says the address on one side. Why do
Yeah.
you need pictures of both sides? What's that about?
Strange.
Weird. I had already told her where my girlfriend lives, so that makes no sense. The most disturbing part was when I asked her when she took the photo. She admitted with total normalcy that one day when we were out having a snack, she went through my partner's purse, opened her wallet, and took the pictures. Oh yeah, just casual.
You know,
No worries.
I just went through there, took a 20, and then I took a picture.
You guys were out. It was there on the couch. That's all.
I didn't think she would mind.
Right. I've had several girlfriends in the past, and I always thought my mom was respectful of them. However, seeing how naturally she admitted to this, it leads me to think that she might have done this with my previous partners as well. And I just never caught her until now.
I guarantee you she did.
Absolutely. She's got it down to an art at this point.
She's like, I wait until you're gone, and then I go in there and take a picture, and I put it in a hidden folder, and everything's good.
I've got my systems. It's like part of my routine. I'm having a great life. To clarify, my girlfriend is the same nationality and ethnicity as us, so there's no cultural or racial reason for this. This is completely unusual behavior, or at least that's what I believed. My girlfriend is a great person and has given her no reason to be suspicious. I am deeply disturbed, and I feel this is a massive breach of trust. How do I approach this conversation with my mom? How do I even begin to explain this to my girlfriend? And there are some additional clarifications from OP. OP says again that she's the same nationality and ethnicity as me. OP also says, I'm sorry for the confusion. I should have specified in my post. I am not in the USA. I live in Argentina. My girlfriend and I are both local citizens, so there are no immigration issues or concerns involved at all. This makes her behavior even more confusing and disturbing to me. It seems to be purely about a lack of boundaries and control. There are some comments, but what do you think OP should do?
I think you go to your mom and you say, that's completely inappropriate. Give me your phone. I'm going to delete that right now.
Yeah.
And then you go to your girlfriend and you say, hey, my mom was acting really whack and took a picture of your thing.
Yeah.
I told her to delete it, but I think we should be maybe very careful and also maybe limit the amount of time that we spend.
Yeah. So we're not going to see my mom very much anymore. Yeah. I kind of think that she was so nonchalant about this, so I don't know if she would get defensive if you came at her, but just in case she did, just come at her and be like, hey mom, what's going on?
Can I take a picture on your phone?
Yeah, oh my gosh, let me take a picture of you guys, you look so great. And then you just start sitting there for a while. She's like, say cheese. You're just fully like, keep smiling.
I don't think that's a good angle of me. No, it's good.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Exactly. And then just, I don't know, see as many of them as you can. Delete them all.
Get them all.
And then be mad at her. That's just in case she would get defensive.
Yes.
But we have some comments here. Comment number 1 says, did you delete the photos and tell her that that was a huge breach of privacy and that you're very disappointed in her? I'd start with that. Comment 2 says, tell your girlfriend and she gets to watch mother-in-law delete it. You effed up by confronting her and not demanding that she deleted it immediately, as there is a chance that she has backup copies now. Your girlfriend deserves to know that her credit is not safe. I highly recommend very much limiting your time with your mother. What she did is beyond reproach. OP says, "You're right. The shock got the best of me in that moment. I was so blindsided by her admitting it with such a normalcy that I didn't act as quickly as I should have. I will make sure those photos are deleted from her phone, her cloud, and her recently deleted folder while we're both watching." Comment 3 says, "So either she is doing a background check or she is selling their identity on the black market. You do know this, right?" Comment 4 says, "It sounds to me like your mother has a mental illness. I'd hope she receives a diagnosis and some help, and that meanwhile, you protect yourself and your loved ones as fully as possible. This is a trauma for you." One trauma. A complete unmasking of a parent you trusted. Comment 5 says, "Is there any chance she might be trying to impersonate being your girlfriend?" What? Identity theft? I mean, I guess, yeah, that's very possible.
That would be weird.
Sure. But maybe she's running this whole like identity theft scheme behind the scenes, and you just need to keep getting girlfriends.
Yeah, she makes fake identities.
Yeah,
for people.
That's why she was trying to set you up with all those girls when you were single.
Yeah, she's got a whole database, but it's just your girlfriends.
Yeah, she's like, "This is the only way I know how to act.
I don't know how else to make the fake IDs.
Who else would I thieve their identity?
I can't do it."
I mean, lots of services have a way of confirming your identity by you uploading images of your identification card or passport for information or verification. And we do have an update from just 3 days later.
Oh boy.
What do you think is going to happen?
I think this mom is going to get upset.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some big blow up fight.
I think so.
That's my guess.
I feel like there's going to be more information.
I hope so.
And there's going to be like more people that she's done this to.
Yeah, and
it's
they
not
all come
just your
forward.
girlfriends.
Yeah.
It's your friends. It's your teachers. It's your cousins. I don't know. It's you.
The lady that works at the bank.
Right. She's just got like loads of IDs.
Yeah, it's all in like a little binder.
Right.
You're like flipping through it. You're like,
yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's the part of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I could see it now.
Yeah.
Update. Hey, I'm back. Things definitely took a turn for the worse.
Oh no.
Oh no. If that was even possible. Brief summary. My mom took pictures of my girlfriend's ID while we were away. I found out. After discovering those first photos, I asked my girlfriend to meet me for dinner so I could explain the situation to her in person. She was understandably upset and scared, but she appreciated my honesty and the fact that I told her ASAP. Yeah, honestly, that is good. If you waited on that to like try to fix it yourself, there would be some issues there.
Yeah, because this has given her a chance to like change anything she needs to change.
Totally.
All of that, get in contact with the bank or something like that.
Totally. However, she made it clear that she no longer feels comfortable or safe coming to my house, which I completely respect. I finally had a serious confrontation with my mom, and she didn't even try to deny it. In fact, she admitted with terrifying calmness that she has done this with every single one of my previous partners.
Dang.
Not only that, but she also has done it to my siblings' partners as well.
Oh my goodness.
She insists that she doesn't do this to steal identities or commit fraud. In her mind, she's doing it strictly for security reasons to protect the family. However, seeing the folders/files she had on everyone was absolutely mortifying.
She literally has folders on them.
Yeah.
This is so scary.
It's crazy. I mean, the fact that she named herself saved files so that she could have that as like a organization tool. That's just wild to call it files.
I hate that. Hate that.
You're gonna like discover a room in your house that's just
wall
shelves.
to wall. Yeah, shelves of your past relationships.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
My siblings have been married to their respective partners for over 10 years, and she still kept those files on them. I am definitely telling them next. She had photos of IDs belonging to my sister-in-law, brother-in-law, and many of my friends.
It was your friends.
Yes, and the in-laws too? That's crazy.
Wow.
But the thing that made my skin crawl was finding a picture she had taken of a thong that I had recently bought as a gift for my girlfriend. What?
How is that part of a background check?
Mom!
What does that tell you?
That's terrifying.
You are weird.
I feel like if we keep looking, we're going to find pictures of everyone sleeping, too.
Yeah.
Like, that's where we're at right now.
I think so. I think it just gets worse and worse.
Yeah, and the fact that she's so calm, that's probably the most terrifying part about it.
Yeah, this feels like criminal.
Yeah,
It's like it's going to get worse.
Absolutely. I forced her to delete every single photo and backup in front of me. I made sure to empty the recently deleted folder and the trash on her phone and cloud storage to ensure nothing was left. Seeing that she has no remorse, I realized I couldn't stay there for another minute. I've officially moved out and I'm currently crashing at my best friend's apartment. My girlfriend doesn't blame me, but we are maintaining a strict boundary with my mother. No contact. I'm still processing this total betrayal of trust. Since I left, my mother has been sending me money, about 100,000 Argentine pesos, roughly $100 USD, give or take, every couple of hours to try and bribe me to come back.
She's sending you $100 every couple hours?
And
Dang.
I have completely ignored her. Yeah,
Good.
that's insane.
You take that money.
Honestly, it's like, yeah, are you getting this money from selling everyone's information?
Yeah, she's like, don't worry. I only sold the files of your friends.
You're right. Or she's like, if you come back, you could get in on this. This is only a taste of what you could be living.
It's so lucrative.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is
Terrifying.
insane. I am honestly devastated. I feel like I've lived for 24 years with a person that I didn't even know. Seeing this side of her has completely shattered my perception of so many things. It's a level of betrayal that I am still struggling to process. I also want to thank everyone who commented on my previous post. Your support and perspective gave me the strength to confront her and take the necessary steps to protect my partner and my own sanity. I don't know what the future holds for my relationship with her, but for now, I need to focus on healing and moving forward. And we do have some comments, but do you have any thoughts on all of that?
None more, other than I think no contact is a great idea.
Totally a great idea. I mean, this is gonna take you a long time to process.
And maybe a therapist.
Oh, yeah, maybe a few.
Maybe a couple therapists. You can pay the $100 you get every couple hours.
Yeah, there you go. Keep accepting the $100 and just funnel it through to
Yeah,
your
This
therapist.
is my therapy bill.
We do have some comments though. Comment number 1 says, this wasn't a mistake or overprotective parenting. This was a repeated pattern of violating privacy with zero remorse. You handled this exactly right by leaving and going no contact. Comment 2 says, $100 every couple hours? You could retire early if you play your cards right. OP says, LMAO, you got a chuckle out of me. Thanks. Comment 3 says, I don't understand the purpose of doing this. That's the part that makes this weird. Like, if your mom was a cop and ran a background check to make sure you weren't dating a criminal, it'd be creepy, but it'd have some sort of logic to it. What could she possibly be doing with these, quote, files? OP says, that's exactly what haunts me. If she were looking for a criminal record, you'd think 10 years of marriage, in my sibling's case, would be enough proof of character. But it's not about that. When I confronted her, she couldn't give me a single logical reason other than security. I think these files were her way of maintaining a sense of control over our lives. By hoarding our partner's private information, even photos of their clothes or old social media posts, she feels that she knows them better than we do? I don't know. I think it escapes any kind of logic. Comment 4 says, I'm sorry to bring this up, but you may want to check her phone again because it may be possible that she could have restored photos by resetting her phone from backup. Comment 5 says, what did she say about the underwear? Did she have other pictures like that? The IDs are bizarre enough, but pictures of underwear are their own kind of disturbing. I'm just not following how she can explain any of this. Honestly, it feels like police should be involved. Over such a long time, who knows where the sensitive documents have been sent or saved? This is bordering identity theft, and she needs a big reality check outside of just losing her relationship with you. OP says, I insisted heavily on that part, but it was the only thing she flatly refused to talk about. I didn't find more photos of intimate clothing, but I did find photos of many other personal objects not belonging to me that I assume were also gifts. I also found a photo of a perfume that my girlfriend gave me just a week ago. So she was constantly doing this for a long while. That is just so crazy. Like, everything else, she's like, no, I can tell you. I've made an excuse for those so far.
And he's like, okay, well, why did you take a picture of the underwear I got?
Yeah.
No reason.
I cannot talk about that one.
No, please don't ask me.
Like, ask me again in 4 to 6 business days.
I can't tell you anything but that.
I'll think of something by then. Yeah, no, that is just
Creepy.
straight up disturbing.
Yeah, I would be freaked out if I were that girlfriend.
Yeah.
But at least you're supportive.
Yeah. Like,
So.
because too, like, obviously it's just so confusing and the mystery is terrifying.
Yeah.
But it's like, even just the trust not existing of like, you know, even if she had these for some sort of security reason and that was like real and she was like worried for you or something like that, that's still a really weird way to go about it.
Absolutely.
Like just not trusting you and not trusting the people that you've, you know, brought to her. And to the fact that she has to do this for preparing, that's just, there's so many layers.
It's too many layers.
Comment number 6 says the fact that an older Argentinian woman is keeping files on the strangers that enter the family totally tracks with her generation's experience in the world. For folks not in the know, I guess dangerous squads started appearing in Argentina in the early 70s, and they were under military rule till 1983. There were kidnappings and unalivings, neighbor informing on neighbor, and thousands of disappeared individuals by secret state agents and cabals. Don't know if I'm saying that right. You don't just wash that away. It becomes part of the culture. Your mom grew up in a time and was raised by people who lived through it when this was fresh as heck. The legacy here lasts for generations. I'd say you need to understand the generational trauma here. Your mom isn't a monster. She grew up with them and was raised in a time when monsters were real and remembered, not folklore. Well, that's an interesting piece of insight there.
I think it is good insight, but doesn't explain the underwear.
That is true.
Like, you have to understand, there was a lot politically going on, and she really needed to take a picture of that underwear.
Right. Because that's where people were jumping out of.
Yeah.
Was teeny little pieces of underwear.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Comment number 7 says, that would be almost fair and only if she did not take and keep photos of the underwear, perfumes, and other intimate presents. There you go.
Yeah.
See, I was wrapped up in that. I was thinking like, okay, yeah, maybe we talk to mom.
Yeah.
But you're so right. Which play no role on security whatsoever. Comment 8 says, nah, I'm sorry, but no. Your take is absolutely outlandish. My mom, dad, uncles, and aunts, and every single one of my friends' parents lived through that, and they don't go around doing this. This is unhinged behavior. Having gone through trauma doesn't excuse acting this way. OP's mother needs to go to therapy to stop being an absolute creep. Comment 9 says, growing up in the DDR or Czechoslovakia or Argentina, where there were secret police, neighbors spying on neighbors, and disappearances, that caused all kinds of trauma. Being raised in a culture of distrust has consequential effects. Comment 10 says, is there a reason you haven't told your siblings? Opie says, the confrontation happened yesterday. I spent the last few hours focused on moving my belongings to my best friend's place and making sure that my girlfriend felt safe and supportive. I am actually on my way to my sister's house right now.
Good. I mean,
Wow.
he already said that he was going to tell his siblings.
Yeah, we just haven't heard the story yet, I guess.
Yeah.
My brother is there for dinner, so it's a rare opportunity to talk to both of them at once. Since they are both busy adults with kids and jobs, I need to handle this ASAP. I think nephews are there too, so I'll have to find a quiet moment to pull my siblings aside without causing some kind of scene in front of the kids. And there is an update from the next day. Oh, wow. Yeah, I feel like that commenter probably just didn't see, like, the dates that were
Yeah, they're like,
posted.
why haven't you talked yet? And he's like,
Yeah.
I'm on
like,
my way.
I just found out about this.
I just found out.
But we have an update from the next day. Well, I talked to them when my nephews were asleep. My brother, 45, and my sister, 41, had been living with this for a lot longer than I realized. When I told them, my brother's first reaction was, wait, you didn't know?
What?
Ah!
What do you mean you knew and you didn't tell?
And you were just chill with it?
That's actually wild to say, oh, you didn't know? Why didn't you never say anything?
Yeah. Why is everyone so cool with this?
Yeah. No, that's crazy.
Is it because they found out, confronted, and then they just kept accepting the $100?
Yeah, they're like, well, she paid us $100.
Like,
So
hourly.
Hourly. And I'm still getting that payment, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
So, like, I'm cool with it. He was almost casual about it. He told us that when they were kids and friends were over, my mom used to steal small belongings from their friends and keep them in a hidden box. This is
This is like serial unaliver stuff.
literally,
This is like taking trophies.
honestly,
Especially with the like kids.
yes. Because what are the kids gonna have? They're gonna
Yeah.
have toys. You're
Yeah.
gonna keep a bunch of kids' toys in a secret hidden
I
box?
hate that.
Terrifying. My sister, on the other hand, was absolutely horrified. She started crying, saying, "That explains why my friends always complain about losing things at our house." Oh my God, she is 41 and just found out about this.
Wow. And the brother knew. I would be, I don't know,
Yeah.
reconsidering relationship with brother.
I would maybe check brother's phone.
Yeah.
Maybe he is like, "Oh, this is how people are.
Yeah,
and
he's
this
like,
is
that's
how I
just
will
how
be."
it goes.
Yeah. Turns out this isn't a new security obsession. It's a lifelong pattern of behavior. She's been collecting pieces of people's lives for decades.
It feels like some semblance of like kleptomania,
Oh, that's possible.
you know, because she
Yeah.
has the urge to steal things,
Yeah.
which goes into, because, okay, favorite movie, Tintin.
Oh, yes.
There's this guy in it that steals wallets, and then, you know, we find that he has this whole room dedicated to all the wallets he's stolen.
Oh, wow.
And so while it's not a physical thing,
Yeah.
taking a picture of the IDs,
Right.
and then you have this file of like
Right.
all of the things that you've stolen.
Yeah.
That's what it kind of feels like to me.
Yeah, and I mean, it makes sense that there would be, you know, more
Other
depth.
objects.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry,
other
what were you
objects. I'm thinking too, like, depth and nuance to kleptomania.
saying? Mhm.
You know, like maybe it is some sort of just control feeling, like
Yeah.
that she needs to have pieces of people's lives.
Yeah. And I think I think to me it makes a little bit more sense why she would steal other objects. Because obviously at least to my understanding in kleptomania, it's not just like, oh, I need to feel secure. It's like I have the urge to take.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. I never really like thought more about it. I guess the thought
Yeah.
probably around it just in general is just like you're just stealing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not as like an actual
Yeah.
mental illness, but it could be.
Could be.
Interesting. My siblings just grew up thinking it was normal or were too young to understand how disturbed it was. I feel sick to my stomach knowing that this has been going on since before I was even born. My sister-in-law was absolutely horrified to learn about the files, but my brother-in-law actually laughed in a "it all makes sense now" kind of way. He started sharing stories of how, for years, whenever he called the house, my mom would pick up and tell him my sister wasn't home, even when she was right there. By the way, whenever you're home, you can listen to full episodes of stories just like this on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app. Just search OK Storytime. And there's more to this story.
Yeah, boy.
That's weird.
At least the brother-in-law is taking it in stride because it was his information stolen.
Right. So he's just,
He's like,
It
that's so funny.
makes sense. And then he starts monologuing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is insane.
Yeah.
My sister-in-law then revealed that my mom once called her specifically to tell her that she didn't think it was appropriate for her to be my niece's godmother. She's been trying to undermine their relationships and gaslight them for over a decade. It was active sabotage. We've decided that we are going to confront her all together as a family.
Whoa.
We can't let this keep happening. My siblings, their partners, and I are finally on the same page. I'm still staying at my best friend's place, but knowing my siblings are with me makes me feel a lot less alone in this nightmare. And that's the end of that story.
Well, that's good. I'm still shocked that brother was like, yeah, I've known about it for ages.
Yeah. And he's just, what?
Oh,
Oh
that's
my gosh.
Oh, it's bad.
Oh, you're right. Delete.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I need a sequel to that.
Me too.
There's no way that just
Please.
ends right before they all have confrontation with her.
No. Give me more.
Give me more. Give me more.
Give me more.
That's insane. But that's the end of that story.
And we got another one.
Oh, yeah.
My daughter is messy with her clothes, so I threw everything on the floor.
Ooh, now there's two messy people here.
So I have always been kind of a neat freak mom the entire time my kids have been alive. I always expect their rooms to be clean, and I check their drawers, closets, storage bins to make sure they don't just shove stuff in there to make the room appear clean. By the way, this comes from Clothes and Drawers, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Sophia,
I'm Angie.
and we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we'd do. So let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, the kids 16, 13, 9, and 6 are all responsible for putting away their laundry, and my oldest two are responsible for folding their own clothes, which bothers me because my 13-year-old folds his clothes in a way that bothers me. He rolls them up instead of properly folding them.
Gah! The wrinkles. The wrinkles.
Ever since the kids have been home and have more free time, I am more strict about the way they put away their clothes. I expect their clothes to be folded a certain way and organized in a certain way in their drawers. OP, I think you're the a-hole. This is coming from a clean person.
Yeah.
I think you're going too far.
Yeah, I think it's possible. I have mixed thoughts.
Because I think it's okay to want their rooms to be clean. Critiquing how they're folding their stuff when they're in the drawers,
Right.
I think is a step too far.
Yeah, maybe we should pick our battles.
Yes.
Accept what they're giving us right now.
I mean, the consequences is that his clothes are wrinkly.
And he can deal with that when
can
he
deal
gets a
with that.
job.
Yeah. I read from a mommy blogger a few years ago that when her kids' drawers weren't organized, she would make a mess for them to organize the right way. Why?
And what you did miss was the apology video that mommy blogger posted on her YouTube channel.
Lord, yeah. Oh, Lord. I considered it for a few years, but now that the kids are old enough, I think it's the way to go for us. Oh, no. Stop. I haven't had to do this until yesterday. I walked into my 16-year-old's room while she was FaceTiming her boyfriend and saw her basket of laundry that needed to be folded, and out of curiosity, opened her drawers and saw she had shoved her clothes in there. I started making a mess and she screamed, "Mom, why?" And I told her she knew why. You're the a-hole.
That's such an a-hole thing to say.
Oh,
you know what you did.
Yeah,
I hate it when people say that.
truly. Me too. I'm like, no, I don't.
I don't.
Otherwise, I wouldn't ask you.
And you know what? It was only elementary school that people said that to me.
Yeah,
Mom, you're not in elementary school.
truly. You're not a child.
Yeah.
Stop making a mess
Yeah.
for your daughter when it seems like the rest of her room is clean.
Yeah, honestly, like if there's a clean vacuum floor,
Yeah.
bed is made, it's just the drawers, I think you gotta let teenagers be teenagers with that one thing.
You had to hunt for the mess.
Yeah.
If you have to
Yeah.
open a drawer to find the mess, there's
Right.
not a mess.
Yeah. Listen, if I could show you my room when I was a teenager, you would feel much better about your kids right now.
Yeah, my mom was also very much a clean freak and like would, get on me about my room that was never really that messy. But she never went to the extent of like, your closet is
Right.
disgusting. And my
Right.
closet was definitely messy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I had a friend whose mom, I think at one point, mom is great, but took out all of the clothes in her did a similar thing.
Yeah.
Took out all of the clothes in the closet
Uh-huh.
because she was like, this is messy.
Uh-huh.
And I was supposed to come over, and I came over and she was like crying, and she had like a giant thing of clothes, and I just spent the whole time just putting everything away while she just
Aw.
like curled up on the bed. So it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Kids get
Dang.
overwhelmed even when they're 16. Honestly, especially when they're
Totally.
16.
Honestly, yeah.
They're already dealing with high school.
Right.
After that, I walked out of her room. She explained to her boyfriend what I did, and he said, "Your mom's effing crazy, bruh." Yeah!
Yeah. Yeah.
And I peek my head into her room, give her a look, and she ends the call with him and breaks down crying. "You're the a-hole." I told my husband what happened, and he told me, "I knew you said you were gonna do that, but I didn't know you would actually follow through." This morning, I woke up to a note on my daughter's door saying, "Until mom can get mental help, I'm staying with aunt," my sister's name.
Whoa.
Wow.
Dang.
I don't know if I think maybe that is an exaggeration of her response, but I also think that you're in the wrong.
Yeah, I kind of don't blame her. I think,
Yeah.
she, from what we can see,
Yeah.
she was safe at home.
Yeah.
It's just that.
Yeah.
But honestly, like, I don't blame her.
I don't blame her because
'Cause
you were the a-hole here.
Yeah, you're the a-hole, and maybe you do need mental help.
Potentially.
And maybe, with this response, too, maybe this wasn't the first time you've done something like that.
Good point.
Because
Good
you're
point.
not talking to her. Like, you could have
Yeah.
thought about this in so many different ways.
Absolutely.
Instead of just making a mess and saying, that's why I'm doing this. Like,
There is also a level of like, you want to teach your kids to have, you want to allow your kids to have some level of privacy and
Yeah.
autonomy, especially in their
Yes.
own space.
yes.
And this was not only you going into her room, invading that privacy,
right.
but also going a step further and invading the privacy of her drawers.
Yeah, and then messing up
Yeah.
her system, too.
Yeah.
Literally, okay, yesterday, and this was something I should not have been stressed out about.
Yeah.
But my room was like, okay, it needed to be kind of tidied up here and there. But like, I was already planning on vacuuming because I sew in my room and the floor gets messy. Already planning on doing that. it just other things needed to be organized first. My dad was already vacuuming the house, and so he just came in and started vacuuming things, and I was like, it's not ready.
Yeah.
But he was cleaning, and so I like really had to control myself and be like, this is okay. He's being very nice right now. But yeah, so
it can be overwhelming.
Totally, like it especially at that age too, at 16.
No, I remember like I would do these full clean days where I would just get like in the mode where my closet was too messy in my eyes, and I would take everything out, like literally just everything is littered on my floor, and then I would start like cleaning and folding and everything, and then I would just get overwhelmed. I'd be like, there's too much, and then my mom would come in, and I'd just be like,
I feel like, and then you tell that story to any psychiatrist, and they're like, yeah, that's ADHD.
What? You're crazy. I texted her, no response. I tried contacting my sister, who said she had no plans to return until I get mental help and stop being such a controlling witch. My husband, sister, and mom are all against me in this, which hurts. I don't think it harmed my daughter. It benefits her and helps her stay organized. Am I the a-hole here? Yes.
I'm sorry. Your daughter was crying to her boyfriend about how crazy you were, and then when you just with one look, she knew to hang up the phone.
Oh my God.
And then she started crying her eyes out, and you think she's not harmed? My guy.
Everyone is against you.
My guy.
Everyone is against you, and you still don't see it.
Yeah, I think you hoped it wouldn't harm her.
Yeah.
You hoped it would teach her organization.
You're like the mommy blogger said, though.
Right. But she has really nice hair extensions.
Yeah.
I thought she would be the perfect parent. It's like, no. Like, you literally, what I think you could have tried.
Yeah.
And it might not have stuck. But one thing you could have tried to do is say, hey, family meeting. All right, let's do laundry together.
Yeah.
We're going to all fold things. And I'm going to tell you why, in a calm way, why it's nice to have this happen. Because my original thought was like, okay, there are some things that, I guess I've learned and valued in cleaning that I didn't really like know right away growing up that I'm excited to teach my future kids.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to like make them do it because even if they don't know, like it's going to help them and they'll figure that out later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've realized that it's helped me. So that's what I was thinking that maybe this was at first. But yeah, you definitely just went about it in the very wrong way.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I think there are a healthy way. I think the important thing to do with kids is to explain why you're doing all of it. Because right here we just got, again, why. Yeah. Kids don't know. They don't know why you're telling them that they have to clean up when guests come over.
Right.
Because the guests are not even going in the room. So why are we cleaning in there?
Right.
Why are we cleaning drawers that are not going to be seen?
Right.
And there are reasons to do it.
Yeah.
Leading a more organized lifestyle can help you be less stressed in other aspects of your life.
Yes.
I don't know. Like I mean, I can't think of them off the top of my head, but there are reasons why cleaning and being organized is good.
Right. No,
explain them.
I think that's such a great point though too, because if the goal, which usually it is, the goal is to be less stressed. Like making a bed, for example. I've learned so like recently, honestly, that like just making your bed makes you feel so good.
Oh yeah, I didn't used to make it, but like ever since college, end of college, I've started making it every day.
Yeah, and then because then when you're younger, it's like, well, it's gonna get messed up again.
Exactly.
So
you're like, why would I do that?
Right. But the idea is about stress. But if you're already putting stress around the idea of things being clean, and now it's stressful that things aren't, like when things are clean, it's still stressful. That's like the complete opposite way that we want this to go.
Yes. And I definitely have a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Because I grew up and my mom was a clean freak and my dad was a clean freak, and they were like, it has to look perfect.
Right.
And so now I'm like, it has to look perfect.
Right.
Which is maybe not the best thing, but.
Which, I mean, there's props to having that eye for things when things are, not quite there yet or something. But we want balance for our mental being.
Yes. So you're the a-hole.
Yeah.
Almost 2 months later. Almost 2 months ago, I made a post on here about me throwing my daughter's clothes onto the drawer when they weren't folded neatly. Well, that post really blew up, and people on Twitter also chimed in. Well, the night I made the post, I was still in serious denial. I replied to some comments, and my denial was perfectly clear for everyone to see. The day after I read some more comments and messages I received from everyone, I resorted to the guest room and cried for hours. I read some people tell me that their moms were similar to me and they no longer have relationships with them.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was truly my worst fear. I seriously love my kids more than anything on this planet, even if my actions don't always show it. I booked a virtual appointment with a psychologist who diagnosed me with OCD. We're all shocked.
Aha.
Everyone is surprised here.
What? No way. You're so chill.
So chill. Does it stand for chill disorder?
Yeah, just oh my god, so chill disorder.
Chill, dude.
Dude, yeah.
And let me know she would help me. I have since had about 8 sessions with her and she's been a big help. Of course, I still have a long way to go, but I have been noticing some improvements already. As for my daughter, she stayed at my sister's house and came home a few days later after I told her that there would be major improvements made in my behavior. I sat all the kids down and told them that I have the resources to not be such an overbearing a-hole to them anymore. By the way, I don't want to be overbearing, but I would like you guys to go listen to full episodes of stories just like this. You can just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. That's all. But there's a little bit left to this story. Any final thoughts?
I really like that.
Me too.
Obviously for getting help for yourself, but talking to your kids about that too, especially in that way.
apologizing.
Yeah, that is huge. I think there are so many people whose like parents were maybe not the best parents growing up who would just so appreciate, even if it was like into teenagerhood, like, and it is later than people might have wanted, having that conversation of like, I'm sorry that I've been acting this way and I'm actively working on it.
Yeah, recognition.
Yeah.
Kids really, really, like, I don't think a lot of parents fully understand how much an apology means to a child.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
'Cause-
yeah.
Oh, no, what were you saying?
I was just saying, like, there was sometimes where it's just like my mom would get frustrated in some sort of
Mhm.
argument and like, I don't know. I can't remember an exact thing that she said. It probably wasn't anything too terrible. She was probably just an overwhelmed mom. And I
Yeah.
was like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But I do remember her apologizing.
Mhm.
And that was like so much relief,
Yeah.
you know, because it
It's
was,
like, oh,
it's
okay.
always still like, you know, I'm sorry for saying this, but like, this is what I mean. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Stuff
Because
like that.
A lot of kids don't see their parents as people,
Yes.
you know? Like, you are an authority figure and you tell me what to do, and your mom or your dad, and you help me and you feed me, and that's it. But when you apologize, it humanizes you because they go, oh, you
Mm.
make mistakes too.
Yeah.
And I can make mistakes and it's okay.
And when I make mistakes, that's how I can.
Exactly.
You
You
know.
teach your children how to do it.
Yeah, exactly. So
Great point.
props to you, Mom.
Mhm.
You were an a-hole at the beginning, but you're getting there.
One thing I do want to address is the fact that I was usually controlling with my kids, but the incident I wrote about was the one that sent both me and my daughter over the edge. Me and her are on much better terms. I want to thank Reddit for waking me the heck up to become a better mom and wife. I also want to apologize to anyone who I brought back bad memories to. I want to have a relationship with my children until we all grow old, and I know so many of you guys don't have that, which breaks my heart. But also hearing your stories gave me a big change of heart and are helping me fix my relationships and become a better person. Good job.
What a
So proud.
lovely end to that
Yeah,
story.
we do not get those stories very often.
No, we do not.
I'm proud of you, OP.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
that's the end of that story. And we've got some comments. Actually,
we
what?
sure do.
And these comments come from the video, my husband's friend insulted my cooking, so I gave him an ultimatum.
Oh boy, I feel like I vaguely remember this one.
I don't fully remember. But this was posted March 7th, 2026. And this story, in this TLDR, comes from story 2 in this video. OP's wife snaps at their teenage son for correctly pointing out her math mistake and then refuses to apologize or even speak to him for days. When OP tells her he will lose respect for her if she does not apologize, things go from bad to worse. But when they finally sit down and talk, it turns out there's a lot more going on than just a wrong answer on a times table. If you're curious to know the full story, you can go watch the full video. And it seems like that is a very relevant story to this episode.
Yeah, absolutely. I do remember that one. I don't remember though. I remember how crazy it was that she
Yeah.
was like she literally said like 7 times 7 was 42 or something. And the son was like, no, it's 49.
Yeah.
And then she was like, don't ever speak to me like that. And she like would not let up.
Oh,
But
dang.
I do not remember the reason behind all of it though.
Yeah, I would love to know, but you guys can go watch that video. Comments from Panchalim says, the story with the mother and the 13-year-old pissed me off very much. Just because her ego was bruised, she turns so resentful and unkind towards her own child. Don't have children if you can't handle a teenager. Or just being wrong.
Honestly, she literally, the teenager was not even bratty.
Yeah.
She's just like, you're teaching my younger sibling that's the answer and you're wrong.
It's incorrect.
You're setting them up for failure.
Mm-hmm. Another comment comes from Danielle Gonzalez, who says, as a parent with a child that's constantly interrupting you, you have to teach them to stop talking sometimes. Teach them when it's appropriate to talk. I lose my patience, everyone does, but apologizing and forgiveness is an absolute must. So when you're wrong, you're wrong.
Yeah, I think that was a huge part, which, maybe you could take some notes from our last mom that we heard about.
Yes.
Just apologize, that's all.
Renizzle11 says, story 2, if your kid is neurodivergent, you have a high likelihood of also being neurodivergent. And after their diagnosis is when you need to start self-reflecting and work through your issues as well. Otherwise, they can manifest like this. And Rio Trio Y5I says, I think most people are missing out. Women start feeling worthless or not respect-worthy around their teenagers throwing tantrums, and husband has missed out on his teen child trying to outsmart his mom. Other than this event, I'm just saying. There's more. There's another comment responding to this. I disagree. I think children are smart Alex. Not even that this was what's happening here, but children are smart Alex, and you can't get mad at them every time they go, well, actually, it's this. That's a child.
And also, like, literally,
And also, you were wrong.
you're just wrong.
You're just
But
wrong.
I remember too, like, she was really not letting up about it. Like, she made the kid go outside or something like that, and then she, like, or go to his room or something like that. I don't know. And then, like, it went on for days that the husband was like,
Oh,
hey,
Lord.
so I think you shouldn't
Yeah.
be so mean. And
Yeah.
she was like, well, he.
And also, just like, all she had to do was go, oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Even if he said it in an annoying way.
Yeah, you go, oh, okay, hey. You
Yeah.
know, just let me know this way.
Right. And if you get overwhelmed and you snap, you just apologize later and make it better.
Yeah. And bomb.com says an apology is still owed here. And this is in response to that comment we just had. She had no right to yell at her son for trying to make sure the answer was correct and has no right to treat her son the way she's treating him now. She needs to take accountability and get herself whatever help she needs to fix this and prevent it from happening again in the future. I don't see how the teenage son was throwing a tantrum for going outside, and immediately after being yelled at, and from experience, it sounded like he was more distressed, if anything, not argumentative. And that's the end of those comments, folks, and the end of this episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe,
We love you.
and see you tomorrow. Hey, don't leave yet. We've got some stories that we think you'll enjoy, so stay tuned for the next one.
My brother finally realized what a narcissist his ex-girlfriend is after she demanded he pay her car payments.
Can he pay my car payments too?
Yeah, can he pay mine as well? I mean, if that's going around these days. Context, my brother dated a narcissist that lied with every breath she took, faked illnesses for both her and her children, made sure my niece, the only biological child my brother has, didn't get anything that her 4 crotch goblins couldn't get to, cheated on him, and gaslit him to the point my brother's view of himself was completely destroyed. By the way, this comes from user Smile Fearless, and if you want to submit your stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. He was basically in an abusive relationship for 10 years and didn't realize it until recently. She had all his passwords, later found out she had all his daughter's passwords as well, and would make Facebook posts on their behalf to type about how she was an amazing wife and stepmom and how much they adored her. My niece was the first to admit she never wrote any of that stuff, and then, in actuality, she hated Sharon. Well, the witch named Shannon left my brother for another man. After the initial hurt wore off, he realized how much better his life was without her. He was able to actually spend money on himself. He bought himself new jeans, got a new car, and lavished his daughter with everything he wouldn't have been able to get her before, because if he did, he would have had to buy 5 of them, because if her children didn't get it, it wasn't fair, and she'd pitch a raging fit. My niece got a new wardrobe, a new phone, new baseball gear, You name it. The funny thing is that Shannon left my brother for a man she thought was rich, but it turns out he was just as much of a liar as she was. Oh, and they're perfect for each other.
That's a great couple.
For the first time, her children didn't have new clothes for school and her bills were starting to pile up. At one point, she did do something nice. She returned a phone that my brother was wanting back. She had stolen a lot of his things when she left, mostly his hoodies my mother had bought him for Christmas. Now, after she did this, she contacted my brother asking if he would pay her $900 car payment because she's at risk for having her car repossessed. My brother was understandably floored. She asked such a thing and he told her no. Thanksgiving was coming up and he needed the money to travel to the US. This would be the first time he'd ever been able to spend it with us in years. Every holiday she'd try and keep him from coming, and if they did come, her kids would run around being loud and eating my other niece's diabetic snacks. If we got onto them, Shannon would get huffy and demand to leave because, quote, our family was disrespecting her again as a mother. Her little demons are just the worst, and to make matters more horrifying, she'd put them up to doing things. Once she even got her little girl to throw rocks at my mother, and when she asked her to stop because she could put an eye out, went to Facebook and completely twisted the story, saying my mom screamed in her poor girl's face, which did not happen.
Who is this woman?
Just a vile witch from some unspoken place. I don't know.
From the core of this planet?
From the woods. She crawled out of a den in the woods. She's a force of nature.
Getting the children involved to do your dirty work is...
It's crazy. Shannon got angry with my brother and started posting on Facebook, telling everyone that my brother was selfish, that he had all this money now and wouldn't help her. Of course, people started looking at her like she was a lunatic. She left my brother, bragged she had a rich man, and was now saying my brother was selfish for not paying her bills? Word got back to my brother, and for the first time, he stood up for himself. He told her that he sacrificed 10 years of his life and went without, so that she and her children didn't have to. And how did she repay him? By cheating on him, causing problems for our family, manipulating his daughter, spreading lies about him, and now she has the audacity to call him selfish. Shannon promptly deleted the Facebook post and has been quiet for a few days now, which, by the way, you should be screenshotting these to have as evidence. But I'm so proud of my brother for standing his ground and not giving in to her. Considering we dealt with this woman for 10 years, there's a lot of stories that I have about her, and she just continues to create more. I'm not exaggerating when I say she'll stab you in the back, tell you about how every man wants her, and then start drama just so she can twist it around where she's the victim. And there is an update. What could we possibly hear about in this update?
She changed her ways, she's asking for forgiveness, and she's going to pay her car loans.
I am going to go ahead and guess the exact opposite of that. I'm going to guess a little cheeky breaking and entering going on here.
You know, I'm a pessimist.
I made a post yesterday about my brother's ex-narcissistic girlfriend, and some people asked for more stories or an update when one comes out. There will probably be one soon, as my niece is running for homecoming queen after being chosen by some of her classmates. Shannon's eldest daughter, we'll call her Minnie, is in the same grade as my niece, and they're both livid. My family dealt with Shannon for nearly 10 years, and in those years, she racked up quite a few stories. One of them that I remember the best was when we first found out about her true nature. My brother had just divorced my niece's mother, which, just really quick, I think is Shannon. My mom and I were going over to his house to redecorate and paint the place up to kind of cheer him up by making it more his style. I was only like 14 or 15 when this happened. When we pulled up to the house, there were piles of clothing outside in the yard along with furniture. My mom was confused, and my brother explained that Shannon's mother kicked her and the kids out after a heated argument, and they had nowhere else to go. He didn't know what to do. He didn't agree to let her stay with him, but she had 3 kids at the time and was pregnant with another. He felt like he didn't have a choice but to let her stay, and ironically enough, my mom believes Shannon and her mother planned this because the very next day they had lunch together and acted like the best of friends. Yeah, it sounds like the narcissistic scheming apple doesn't fall far from the narcissistic scheming tree.
They're very delectable in fall time.
And they're not bitter. They're just crab apples, dude. There's a couple crab apples. My brother's biological father was anything but a family man, so my brother strives to be the exact opposite of him. Within a month of them dating, Shannon was already moving into his home. My mother and I helped her move things in, and my mom got to notice a few red flags. The main I remember being is that all the children's clothes looked 2 sizes too small for them. I looked at the kids, and she was right. The clothes they were wearing were stained up, which is normal for children, and they were much too small. We questioned it, and Shannon painted a haunting story about how abusive abusive her ex-husband was, how he had stolen all of her children's good clothes and locked her in a bathroom to keep her from leaving, and how she had to climb out the window to get away from him. My mom found that to be an odd story. Why would he steal their clothes? After some snooping, my mom found out her ex was actually a decent man who didn't have any of his children's clothes other than what he bought them after they split up. He stated Shannon never bought the kids new clothing, and this would prove to be true in the years to come. Now, while my mom and I were decorating my brother's home, one thing she did was hang several pictures of my brother and his daughter in the living room. The biggest picture was one we had professionally done of my niece in a white dress holding a lacy umbrella that made her look like a little doll when she was younger, around 3. She was about 5 or 6 when this happened. A few weeks after moving in, Shannon stated that she wanted to take family photos for her parents and asked my mother, who was working on getting her photography career off the ground, to take them. My mother agreed, and the day she chose to take them, my niece was at her mother's house. Now, at one point during the photo taking, she asked my brother to be in them. My mom was hesitant, stating if she wanted to include my brother, then would she mind waiting for a day when his daughter was here to be in the photograph? Shannon stated that it was just for her parents and grandparents, that they liked my brother a lot and would love to have him in the photo. Not wanting to argue, my mom took the photos, and after they were finished with touch-ups, my mom gave her a few of the copies. The next time we went over to their house, I saw my mom freeze in the doorway. I looked up and noticed that the wall we had decorated with pictures had been altered. The only pictures with my niece in it were the small ones, and the rest had been moved, including the large professional one. In its place, the family photo with my brother in it and without my niece.
I wonder who moved it.
This is just creepo behavior. Like, I know this seems like a small thing to blow up at, but honestly, I'd kind of be blowing up.
This is getting to the territory of psychotic.
Right, where it's like, I'm sorry, who do you think you are? You think you can just come in here and, change the photographs in my house?
Like, 1 or 2, fine, but all the ones, especially with the niece in them.
She thinks, she can come in there and then
we had nowhere to go.
I guess it's not their house, but it's like...
But it's still very odd.
My mom demanded to know where the photo was in a not-so-calm voice. Way to go, Mom. Shannon explained she had it moved to the hallway. My mom went to the hall and stopped when she was in my niece's room. The new bunk bed my brother had bought her had Crayola all over it. It was built from wood, so the Crayola couldn't wash off entirely. Her shelves that had expensive Barbies still in the box were ripped from the walls. My mom walked in just in time to see one of the boys jump from her top bed onto a mattress that had been dragged into the room, and possibly for the other kids to sleep on. The youngest girl was hanging from one of the shelves that hadn't been torn down yet. The kids were treating her room like a jungle gym while my niece was at her mother's. Get her out of there, dude.
Shannon is... scum of the earth.
And so clearly, OP's niece that is being sort of excluded here is not Shannon's daughter.
No.
So it's like, that's why this is happening.
That's what, because
which is the biggest scumbag thing you could do as someone entering a relationship and you have kids of your own. And you're going to, exclude your partner's kids?
She's not mine. I didn't give birth to her, so I shouldn't care.
Scumbag. My mom went crazy bananas, yelling at them that what they were doing wasn't safe before completely rounding on Shannon. I won't say my mom was calm, because she wasn't. All our work to make the house look nice was being destroyed, and my niece is and always has been a neat freak who was going to probably burst into tears when she saw her room. My mom began screaming at Shannon, stating how dare she let her children destroy someone else's room, and how dare she move a family photo onto the wall. Didn't she realize how that would make my niece feel excluded? Yes, she did. I'm going to guarantee you that she did. Shannon began to cry, stating that she didn't want to make her children feel left out. And what about my kids? Are my kids supposed to go without? My brother was on my mom's side, as he hadn't seen the room yet. However, that changed with one thing Shannon did. She faked heart complications. She clutched her chest and told my mom she couldn't get worked up. She had a heart condition. We later learned from her family that this was a lie. Psychotic behavior.
At first, I was like, okay, maybe she's just a terrible person, but she's a terrible person who's also a psychopath.
Psychotic. My brother, who became worried, told my mom he would talk to her. My mom told me to get into the car and we left. She was livid the entire night. And of course, when my niece got home, she saw her room and the family photo. I'm not sure how she reacted to the room, but the next time she came over to our house, she asked my mom why she would take a family photo without her. My brother promptly removed the photo, telling Shannon she wanted to give it to her parents, so it better go to their house. Of course, she fake cried again, stating my brother didn't see her children as family. When that didn't work, she pretended that her getting upset caused her to have more heart pains. And after that, my brother began walking on eggshells to prevent her from getting upset, worried he'd throw her into a heart attack. Truly, get her out of here. Get her out of here. I don't want her in the same solar system as me.
What's up with the brother just not figuring it out?
I don't know, man.
It's just so blatant, smack in the face, like so red all over. But what are you doing?
He probably leads with his heart, dude, you know? We only learned recently that she doesn't have this heart condition and never did. It was all used as a weapon to keep my brother from upsetting her. The next time we came over to the house, my brother had put the shelves back up and from what I could tell, tried his hardest to scrub the Crayola off the bed. But the kids were still jumping off the top bunk and making an overall mess out of her room. When I questioned it, Shannon gave me a look and stated, well, they live here too. They need a room too. My problem wasn't the room, but rather the fact that they were bothering my niece's things and destroying the room. I had no problem with them sleeping in it or keeping their toys in it. However, believing that her heart condition was real, I bowed out of the conversation, worried I'd set her off. Things only escalated when my mom put up photos of all her grandkids and children around her fireplace. When Shannon came over, her face fell and she began hysterically crying, stating that my mother didn't see her children as her grandkids. My mom was floored, saying she'd only known her children for like 6 months and didn't have any photos of them anyways. Shannon complained to my brother, but he told her that she couldn't force mom to change how she decorates, especially if she doesn't have pictures. So my mom cut a deal with Shannon. If she provides the pictures, she'd put them up. However, Shannon didn't do this and instead told anyone who would listen that my mother hated her children. When asked about it, my mom said she had nothing against the kids. They were just kids. Their mother, however, she was beginning to hate very much. Within a few months, Shannon's children had broken my brother's TV, spray painted his coffee table, somehow managed to cut up the walls with what may have been scissors, destroyed nearly anything decorative that was glass, and tore holes in his couch.
So they're demons.
How are the kids spray painting the coffee table? Who's watching these little
kids are breaking
monsters?
What are they doing? Are they doing WWE moves in the house?
And how is this being let slide? This is insane. All of his nice furniture was replaced by secondhand things that didn't look nearly as good or match together. What was worse was when he lost the house, Shannon had stated that she was paying the house payment. But the woman they were supposed to be making payments to said she hadn't received money in 9 months. So not only are kids ruining things, she's not paying the payments. And how are they not broken up already?
Love is stronger than any material in this world, Dakota.
This might be a really hot take. I don't know. But I feel like your partner having demon children, a perfectly acceptable reason to not be with them. So my brother ended up being evicted from his house and had to move into an apartment in Shannon's name that her father had given to them. When this happened, my mom demanded to know why Shannon didn't move into this apartment when her mother first kicked her out. But of course, Shannon faked her heart condition again, saying it was too stressful for her to talk about the situation with her mother. Even though they hung out often, according to her, they were still fighting. That is, her mother. Within less than a year, my brother lost most of his good furniture and his house, but was too afraid to say anything because he was afraid of upsetting Shannon, and we didn't know it at the time, but she was using his divorce against him, using it to make him feel like if he didn't have her, he'd never have anyone, that she was this angel that accepted him, and that his wife left him because he was
I feel bad for the brother, but also, why are you so gullible, dude?
Giving her the number 15, man. So my brother is very self-conscious about his intellect, as he does have a learning disability, so he started going with what Shannon said.
Oh my God.
Because he saw her as this intelligent person that knew better.
He has a learning disability, and she's taking so much advantage. Oh, dude, I want to drop kick her.
I'm gonna freaking
back to the depths she came from.
Now my brother is constantly down on himself. He's afraid to try anything career-wise if it has a written exam that has to be taken, such as real estate, because he believes he's not smart enough to pass it. And because the apartment was in her name, anytime my brother would do something like question her motives, she'd just throw him out. My brother, feeling like he was in the wrong, would always apologize, and she'd take him back and give him a second chance since she loved him so much. She really just messed with his head. The house and the furniture were just items, but my brother and niece's self-esteem and empathy towards others has been completely altered. They both think lowly of themselves and are both now very hesitant to believe anyone's stories, which is sad because most sane people aren't going to lie about having a medical condition, which is true. This person is insane. I know it really affected my niece because I was telling her about a girl I know who had cancer a few months back, and one of the first questions she asked me was, are you sure she really had it? I told her people don't lie about that, and there's video of her ringing the bell when she was deemed cancer-free. Shout out my mom who did the same thing, as well as pictures of her after she shaved her hair when it was falling out. Her response, Shannon would lie. I couldn't disagree with her because all of the medical illnesses she said she had or her children had only turned out to be lies. So examples include one of her children having autism and the other one having her stomach muscles deteriorate to the point that her intestines had fallen on top of each other, making it where she couldn't use the bathroom. No surgery was ever done, and supposedly the doctor gave her little laxatives. I'm not a doctor, but I'm pretty sure that's a serious condition requiring surgery. It's a little heartbreaking to know this woman warped my niece's view of the world to the point she now thinks people's actions or their medical state might have some ulterior motive. Now, my brother is showering her with gifts and trying his best to move on with a new girlfriend he met. However, every night, at least during the beginning stages of the relationship, he called my mom terrified that he's going to screw it up. He's going to bounce back. Hey, you're going to bounce back, find a great partner.
He needs a support compass also, because this is 10 years of him just being, his brain morphing into like, I'm not good enough. I'm not the best.
Yeah,
So,
you need probably some counseling, some therapy.
I think for OP and their
the
mom
children.
and the children.
The children who have had their confidence and their worldview mixed up by this individual need guidance.
Yeah, but
100%.
This is so bad. I feel so bad.
Yeah, and dude, let this be a lesson. Like, if you feel weird vibes, your gut will seldom lead you wrong.
Always trust your gut.
If your gut's telling you something, like, hear it out at the very least.
So Shannon is a scumbag demon, a psychopath, it seems like, and a pathological liar.
Yeah, a great combo, the unholy trinity. Before we get into it, I just want to let you guys know that you can listen to full episodes with stories like this. All you got to do is go to your favorite podcast platform, whatever it may be, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts from, and search OK Storytime.
Easy.
And there we are. You'll have the entire catalog to browse through at your leisure. One night, he called her, the demon, ranting about how much of an idiot he was and how he knew he blew it with her, that she'd never want to talk to him again, etc. What did he do? Well, he was supposed to be going over to her house and fell asleep and woke up at midnight. His new girlfriend, I'll call Rhonda, since she likes MMA, was a little niffed, but said she knew he had just gotten off work. She joked that he hadn't blown it yet, but if he stood her up again, she'd be at his front door.
Okay, so this is at least a better partner in the better direction, that seems like.
Yeah, a normal response with understanding and a little bit of cheeky humor there.
Yeah.
There are a lot more stories of Shannon since, again, 10 years of this mess. Manipulation, lies, and fake illnesses were normally her calling card for the dramatic situations she'd rope people into, normally ending it by twisting the situation where she somehow became the victim. And that's the end of that story. Look,
no, okay.
Look, here's what I'll say, all right?
We ended on like a decent
What we're
note.
gonna say, right, is that the brother, the children, all the people who were impacted mentally by her manipulations have sought therapy, all right, have sought group counseling. I'm putting that out there. That's what they were going to do. The brother is still in a great relationship now with Rhonda. Yes?
Yes.
And just a warning again, if you just listen to this story and you realize, oh, that kind of sounds like my partner, but my partner's great, you have to re-examine your relationship.
My ex-girlfriend's mother confronted me because I refused to raise a child that isn't mine.
Hey, knock, knock, who's there? I don't know whose kid this is.
It's not mine. This story happened recently involving a girl, 28 female, I dated since last year. First, let me give some backstory. Before Memorial Day, she decided that she wanted to try the whole hot girl summer and broke up with me so she can find herself. By the way, this comes from user Skylar2s, and you can submit your story on the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, during this time, she blocked me on Facebook but kept me on Instagram. All throughout summer, I saw Instagram posts of her going to pool parties, nightclubs, festivals, etc. Personally, I didn't pay much attention to them and focused on my job / having myself a good summer. However, I heard from mutual friends that she got involved with being polyamorous and had a lot of male friends. I even heard that she went onto some swinger parties. 2 weeks ago, she reached out to me and wanted to patch things up with me. This time around, however, she was overtly spicy towards me, something that was kind of outside her usual demeanor. Yeah, man, she has her experience now. She kept insisting that I come over to her place so we we can have some real fun. Something didn't feel right about her advances, and trusting my gut, I insisted on meeting in a coffee shop to chat instead. 1 hour before our meeting, I got a text from a mutual friend that my ex got pregnant sometime over the summer and thought that I had a right to know. During our chat, she acted like we never even broke up and asked about what I did over the summer, to which I responded that I pretty much worked. I decided to ask about her being pregnant, which prompted this following exchange. So, I don't mean to be in your business too much, but I heard through the grapevine that you're pregnant. X? Oh, you heard about that? Yeah, it's true, but I'm not really worried though. OP? Why's that? Is the dad still in the picture? X? No, he's not. But luckily for me, I got someone who's going to step up and take care of me and the baby, and who knows, he might ask me to marry me soon. OP? Really? Who is it? X? I think you know. Me? No, I don't. Who is he? X? He's sitting right in front of me. OP? Some coffee comes out of my nose. Come again? X? It's you, silly! My jaw hit the effing floor. I sat there dumbfounded for 10 awkward seconds. X? Aren't you excited? OP? No, I am not. X? Why not? OP? Because not only did you party it up all summer, I heard that you had more than your fair share of spicy romps and swinger parties, and now you're telling me that you expect me to take you back after all of that? And to include marry you and raise a kid that's not even mine? X? Taking it back and starting to look really angry. Yes? Because that's what real men like you do. They step up and provide for their women. Plus, it's not like I cheated. We weren't together when I got pregnant. OP. While that may be true, you're still asking me to do something I'm not even remotely interested in doing.
Bro,
X?
she's treating their relationship like it was a video game. She just put it on pause.
She just like, all right, so that's my save point. Do you want to play that? You've never played this game before. Like, you played the beginning, but now we're toward the end.
God.
And I know you missed all that fun stuff. You missed the good stuff and like learning and, you know, all the cool items. But you want the save point, right? You want to play that. I did all the work for you.
Unbelievable.
X looking very upset. So you're not going to step up then? Are you serious? OP looking around and noticing that half the coffee shop is listening to us. I'm just going to go. I get up and walk out in a hurry. As I make it 15 feet out of the coffee shop, I hear my ex burst through the front door of the coffee shop screaming like a banshee. Get your butt back here, OP! We're going to have this discussion! I decided to get the heck out of there and dodge and started to sprint across the parking lot. I looked back for a split second to see my ex running after me, still screaming. Luckily enough for me, she was wearing heels and I was wearing a good pair of shoes.
Yes. Utility.
Yes. He came prepared.
Practicality.
I managed to get to my car, get inside, and start the engine in time to peel out of the parking lot. While at a stoplight up the block, I took out my phone and blocked her number and her Instagram account. Don't do that. Don't text and drive, but that is a smart thing to do.
Do not block and drive.
Yeah, park first and then block. For a day and a half, things were quiet until I was at a gas station filling up my car. After I was done, I bent over to tie my shoes, and while doing so, I heard the sound of stiletto heels angrily making their way towards me. And guess what? They stopped right behind me. A chill ran down my back as I felt a pair of angry eyes staring daggers at me. You're hearing the boss music. You're hearing the Skyrim battle music. You're like, where is it?
Ba-da-dun, ba-da-dun, ba-da-dun.
And then there's a dragon over your head. You're like, oh no. I stood up and turned around, expecting to see my ex. But I was greeted by the rage-filled eyes of my ex's mother. In parentheses, he says, the entitled mother, EM, of this story, I should also mention that she is divorced. She raised her hand to slap me, but I stepped back in time to dodge it. Entitled mother, you're an effing a-hole, you know? OP, if you're referring to your daughter, then I'm sorry, but I'm not getting back together with her. Yes, you are. OP, no, I'm not. I refuse to date someone who is going to try and force me to raise a kid that isn't even mine. Why don't you ask those men she screwed during her summer vacation? Entitled mother. So what if she had a couple of one-night stands? All girls do it. So what if she made a mistake? It's not like you two are together, so it doesn't count as cheating.
Hey, genius, you just found the answer to your question. It's not like we're together.
It sounds like she said it out loud. Do you not hear what you're saying?
Again, the apple must not be falling far from the
crab
completely
tree.
Unhinged, illogical tree here.
Yes. OP. Even so, it's not really fair to me to just expect me to take her back after all of that, entitled mother. Yes, it is, because that's what men are supposed to do. They provide for their woman. That's what my angel deserves right now, and you're just the man to do it. You need to man up right now. OP. BS. I deserve a girlfriend that won't break up with me just to screw around and expect me to be waiting around to take her back afterwards. Suddenly, an officer pulls up and gets out of his car. Officer? Is there a problem here? Entitled mother. Why, yes, there is. I need you to arrest this man for stalking and harassing my daughter. OP. Officer, I can assure you that I have not harassed anyone. She's lying. Entitled mother. Why, you lacking sack of crap. Just then, a guy from a few pumps down runs up to the officer. The nice guy. Excuse me, officer. I saw the whole thing. The lady accosted this man about not wanting to date her daughter.
Hey, what a nice guy, eh?
That's a nice guy.
Hey, we're just a couple of nice guys, yeah?
Entitled mother. F off. Nobody asked you. She tries to slap the nice guy, but the officer stops her and restrains her. After this, he let me go and suggested I get a restraining order, which I'm heavily considering, as well as moving out of my apartment soon. I have a feeling that it is not over, and we have an update. This is one of the most, crazy stories I've ever...
This is a pretty wild path we have wandered down here.
Listen, I really hate the fact that they're like, because you're the right man for this. You're the man. Step up. Excuse me? Like, what the
It's like, did I sign like a contract in blood that I wasn't aware of, that I have to be with this one person forever? Even after they leave me? She left me.
Well, I didn't know my post would generate so much hostility. Some of y'all got some issues to work out. Anywho, I went ahead and got myself a Ring app for my apartment in case my ex wants to try anything while I'm away. And while we're away,
you can actually listen to full episodes with stories like this. All you got to do is go to Spotify or Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, and search OK Storytime. And while we're away from your screen, you can listen with your ear holes to the entire OK Storytime catalog.
It's very easy. There is another relevant update, but I don't think we have to discuss much more. Restraining order is good.
Yeah.
Crazy girlfriend, crazy entitled mother.
Yeah.
Get out of there.
I wonder what these hostile comments were. I mean, maybe it's OP being like, hey, pump the brakes on the hostility towards my ex and her mom, please.
I don't know.
I would imagine that the internet was being ruthless.
Yeah, but that's crazy. But let's get to the end of the story. I've stopped going to some of the places I usually go. Gas stations, the gym, church, etc. in hopes to avoid seeing her mom again. I heard from my friend that my ex is doing a witch hunt to figure out who told me about her being pregnant, and even made a Facebook post about it, which he sent me a screenshot of.
The fact that she didn't tell him that she was pregnant, she was getting back to try to entrap him and make him think that was his child.
Oh, no.
And the only reason that he found out was because he was told. That's another insane angle to this story.
Oh my goodness. In the meantime, I'm looking for a new apartment. Not to sound ignorant, but I really think it's going to be hard for my ex to pin a baby on me, seeing how we didn't have spicy sleep at all over the summer, and with me turning down her offer to come to her apartment. But if I see her mom again, I will file a restraining order the same day. We have one comment. Be ready to prove you're not the biological father. Talk to a lawyer. If she puts your name on the birth certificate, you need to know your options. OP replies, I believe that's why she tried to get me to come over to her house in the first place. Wouldn't OP have to voluntarily sign his name on the birth certificate for any real consequences? Depends on where he lives. It's best to talk to a lawyer who's an expert in the law where he is. And if you guys know anything about that, well, we also don't know what state he lives in, where he's from. We don't know that.
It's just,
it's good to just cover all tracks and make sure you're prepared for anything.
Get that paternity test ready.